In the block too, right?
Yeah, they lived like
Hershey
right
was a little
across.
jump
Oh,
off.
actually, no, they were right next door neighbors.
Well, back to another show of understanding people. I just thought I heard she was a jump off. Like, okay. I'm glad we didn't
We
say
wasn't
that
talking
name.
about you. We wasn't talking about you.
No, we was talking about.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Yo, you.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
the remix?
Understanding people.
Understanding people.
Just,
mean,
you
you
got
supposed to
to
jump
do
in
it.
with
Those
it.
two don't go.
He was supposed to jump in with the
Two
same,
different
like, you know,
vibes.
melody, but
No, I'm good.
no.
It's like when R. Kelly steps out and he sings the high note.
What?
Oh, my bad.
No.
Whoops. Anyway, how was everybody's week?
We survived R. Kelly.
You met R. Kelly this week?
He locked up, ain't he?
I thought, yeah.
Free him to this backwards.
No, we not. He's in more
Nah,
trouble this week.
don't free
That's
him.
different story.
Don't free him. Wait, so don't free him, right? We
No.
want to keep him in there. Okay.
No.
I don't even know. He's a black man. I don't even know,
listen to
bro.
him because he come on my shuffle. Depending on what song it is, I still let it rock.
You can't.
Step,
not in my
step,
phone.
side to side. That's my shit. I can't.
And
let
you
that one
were
go.
stepping in the moment.
Oh,
Jeez.
That shit ain't got nothing to do with no kids.
You're still making him money.
Shout out to Kels. Mute.
Nah,
Mute
he-
Kels.
Don't shout
don't
him
shout him
out.
out.
I don't even know. I don't know. He's black man.
How you nice to R. Kelly but not to Magic?
I'm saying.
Shout out to Magic.
Yo,
that was real therapeutic. Oh, speaking of therapy.
oh.
You want to start off today?
Oh no, my phone's dead.
Your phone is dead.
What?
You see it? It's like you just had it on. You've been lying all week.
Yo, PJ called me in like 2 lies this week, but it's alright though. I'm growing.
Okay.
All
That's a
right,
lie. But
let's check on everybody first. Before we get everybody's side, let's check on the queen of the show. Jess, how you doing this
Queen
week?
of the ring.
Good, I'm good.
Nah. Every week you give us just you good. How's everything going? Elaborate a little bit.
Well, we're going to
Yeah.
elaborate in the form of this topic.
No, I'm talking
Later.
about you had a job yesterday. You know, because you
Chill,
to
you
make
can't
you to
tell
make
like
a
that.
queen of the world. Why
Oh, no,
can't tell-
it was regular clientele this weekend.
Why can't tell it? Get a
Because
haircut.
usually my stuff is,
Come on, baby.
private NDA type levels.
Nah, but we ain't saying no names.
Yeah.
He needs a haircut. But
Yo, he hating. It's all right, though. He can't go with this phone. He get a ball spot right here. Though.
stress
He keep shit nice and low.
and a little patch.
They call it alopecia.
We noticed that he don't show the back of his head.
Yo, look, I'm real comfortable.
You're lying. How you doing today, Naj?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Kind of tired, but it's whatever.
Have you beat any video games this week?
No, I haven't. I haven't really been playing that much.
Damn.
It's sad. Growth. Or
Nah,
or
man.
regression. I don't know.
One of the two.
What about you, Leek?
This week was good. I made an adult decision. I'm here. Oh, I burned out too. Like Wednesday, I neglected all my responsibilities. Didn't go to class. Didn't go to the gym. I just neglected everything.
didn't come to a meeting.
You didn't come to our
Nope.
meeting.
And you lied.
Thursday. Oh, it was Thursday actually. Yeah, Thursday. And then had jury duty. Free me today. Free me. You heard? And they freed me because I'm a full-time student. So
you
they had to let me
heard
go.
to jury duty?
You heard?
They let me free though because I'm a full-time student. see you in 7 years.
Nigga part-time like a motherfucker. Check in on that.
You know what's crazy? They didn't even ask me for my school schedule. All I said was, I'm a student. She was like, all right, cool. When do you want to come back?
Never.
Is that an
School for
option?
life,
I
nigga.
told her, what's the furthest you can push it back? She was like, October. I said, push it back further than that.
I'm so mad. The first time I did jury duty, they selected me as juror number 1. I was like, so I gotta tell the person whether or not
Yeah, guilty or not? That's
he was
crazy.
not guilty. But then the mother came up to us and was like, I thank you so, ma'am. You're not supposed to talk to
Yeah,
us.
facts.
I gotta leave.
I know
Leave
you
me
been a
alone.
jury
Ma'am,
duty.
leave that briefcase in the bathroom that we talked about.
Nah, it was sus. It was some like cop was trying to pull something over on this guy, this black guy. So hold on.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. We was like, no,
Saw
we
that
see
story
foul
yesterday.
play. Yeah, but
All right.
All right, what?
Moving right along into the.
Oh yeah, today's topic is very interesting, man.
I see how I set him up. I was just drinking the whole time.
It's like thanks for the alley.
We're gonna
So
start
you
off with a quote. If clients trust you with their hair, then they trust you with what's going on inside their mind. This is by Steph the Barber, Swearingen. Did I say that right?
no idea.
Where'd you get it from?
Shout out to my boy Rubenito. he came to us with this quote. I ain't approving shit.
You gotta give him the backstory.
You never catch him slipping like.
You give it, because I don't even know where the fuck it came from.
There are people
This is swell.
in the Virginia.
great.
Where did we say it was at? Atlanta. Yeah, there are people in Atlanta who are barbers and beauticians who have decided to gain knowledge about therapeutic conversations or therapy in some nature. And now what they're doing is while cutting hair or while doing the hair of a woman or whoever's hair you're doing, because not only women get their hair done. But yeah, that they're going to be able to talk to them correctly, not just about sports and other bullshit that you'll be talking to your barbers about.
So they're gonna be like a new form of therapist.
Yeah.
Well, we can't say that because they can refer them to someone else if it is above their,
Pay grade.
Understandable.
knowledge.
It's above
I
their
was
pay
gonna say,
grade.
no.
Get it?
It's above their knowledge.
Above your $21 haircut.
Sorry, you only
Taking
paid me
shots?
for you only paid me for a flat top.
Now, my
No,
mama
there's
hitting
some
me for
People come
35.
to barbers for like real problems. Like, I can help you through this conversation, but I think you need to seek somebody who is a professional.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
only paid me for this flat top, young blood.
Let me start off with, have you ever been to therapy? Have any of you guys ever been to therapy?
Yep, I am currently in therapy.
Yes, I've been to therapy, but I was doing it to get out of class when I was a senior.
Wow.
That's a good reason.
No, I've never attended therapy.
I'm actually attending therapy as of now myself. Why do you feel like you just didn't want to, or you never had a real reason to?
Mostly I never thought I had a reason to. And secondly, probably, I don't know, I guess I'm not that comfortable talking to my problems with complete strangers like that. Talking about my problems with complete strangers like that, even though they are professionals, Yeah.
Nah, I feel you. How long you been doing it, Jess?
It's gonna come up on a year's. Oh, no. It's been a couple years, but the first attempt was a failed attempt.
Failed how?
Because she's one of those people that was like, oh, you're doing better than most, so you're okay. I'm like, I'm not coming to you for you to tell me I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm coming to you for you to build on
Just have
my
an issue.
exactly.
Yeah.
On my current level of, I guess, me being comfortable in dealing with my issue, and for you to expound on that and to help me further on. So you get frustrated with somebody telling you, no, you're good, you're fine. You know you're not fine.
Exactly.
So I had to take a break until I found someone else when situations got heavy again to be able to actually like help me out.
And you feel
So
like
it's been, what, 6? Has it been? Close to 9 months of this new person. that I'll be dealing with.
Congratulations,
And
man.
she's
Pretty big.
he or she, they're good. For you?
She's solid.
Okay.
Yeah. But everybody has to find the right person for them.
Definitely.
I feel that. And me, shout out SS, that was her initials. Yeah, I only went because I wanted to get out of my last period. And she actually is the reason that I got into the relationship with the adult at the boarding school I was at, because she told me I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. So that's what I got out of my therapy session. But we're going to talk about that
You
another
do
time.
anything you put your
Wait,
mind to.
what?
Yo, so basically, I'm going to tell you a quick synopsis. So what happened?
She's gonna slant that in there. Yeah, I went to an
Yeah.
adult relationship because she told me not to.
So
Rebellion.
one day, she always used to front on me because I was like spoiled, like I was a spoiled kid at boarding school, keep it a stat. And she used to get mad at me because I used to be in there like, yo, whatever, like I was only there for what I was there for. She's like, you just work in the system, you think you all that, whatever, cool. So she had a coworker who walked in there. Damn, I don't think I could. She had a
Entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, for entertainment purposes only.
This the same baby father from before?
No, that's a different one.
Oh, okay.
So listen. So the coworker come in there, and I was like, "Yo, that's gonna be my future wife one day." And she was like, "What does blank blank want to do with a 17-year-old? You can't do nothing for her." I was like,
Oh, really?
Bet.
"Say less." Then she got fired, lost her license, and we here now.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, boarding school for you was different, boy.
So,
Made me
You
want
went
to go
from
back in
cotton
time to
picking
boarding
to
school.
like
so what could you do for her?
Oh,
Got
yeah,
her
it's fucked up,
fired?
right?
Ruin her life?
Yo, and it's
Yeah.
so sad, bro, because it's like, I feel bad about this to this day because it was like when all that shit happened, she was in the prime of her life, and me, I was just starting college. So, like, I was starting my freshman year of college when this all happened. So it was like,
Sheesh.
damn. But shout out to her, though. She landed on her feet. She married a rich one.
Free her till they free her.
Free her till it's backwards. You heard?
He's gonna say that all show. Yeah.
That don't make
That
no
is
sense.
crazy.
Free her till it's backwards just means her free, because free her backwards. Forget it. Yeah, so pray for her, all right, guys, because I ruined her life. Wow, that's the first time I've ever said that.
You admitted to ruining her
Growth.
life.
Yeah, wow. But it wasn't my fault. She came after me. I was underage.
You just said you went after her because somebody bet you that
She shouldn't have fallen for no 17-year-old. I ain't got nothing for her.
you were the aggressor.
you
but
are
she
the
was wrong
worst,
for taking the aggression.
I don't have nothing for her. I was 17.
She should know better.
She was the
She was
adult.
the adult. I knew that was coming. She was the adult.
Yo, we might gotta cut that because that's crazy.
Nope.
It's too late now.
That's gold.
For entertainment purposes only.
For any of you guys, are there things that you're dealing with currently that you can't handle alone though?
I can't handle one.
Yeah, the reason why I'm in therapy.
Good point. Very valid point.
Yo,
Shout out to the person who put that question in there. Rubenito.
You know what's funny? When I read it, I was like, I struggle with being alone.
Clearly not. You got motherfuckers getting fired.
I didn't want to be by myself.
That's crazy.
No, but for my anxiety, there was a point where I was just like, no, I'm fine. I can cope. And I was like, no, I can't. I need some help. And the lady was like, no, you're fine. I was like, lady, I'm telling you, I've reached a boiling point. I am not okay. Help
I am
me.
not okay.
nigga.
I didn't want to finish it, but you know what I mean.
Help.
Nah, the same with me though. I didn't even realize I dealt with anxiety or depression or I guess what you say PTSD till this year. I didn't even know until I started going to therapy. So it's like traumatic events that have happened in my life kind of shaped me into this person I am now, to trust somebody else with my information. Low key, not just like a therapist to me too. I vent to this motherfucker every day.
Well, I had to get a new one because I was venting to Naj too much. So we had to get outside party.
So you might be
Bro.
a therapist and not even know it.
You only pay me for the flat top. I can't.
I'm not here for all this other shit.
Things I can't deal alone. I feel like, I don't know, might be advice as far as like career wise in terms of what I want to do in like my creative endeavors and like monetizing that side of myself, so to speak.
So what you need more is like a. Damn, I just had the phrase for them.
But what I will say for
A
you,
mentor,
No,
a
it's
life coach.
Life coach. There you go.
what I will say for
So
you,
they're like a therapist and.
I'm not putting any of your
Building.
personal business out there, but after getting to know you and you getting personal with me, I do feel you personally dealt with traumatic events in your life.
Traumatic events.
Yeah.
But is the question stuff that I'm currently dealing with that I can't, or
No, I think that I think those events help
Like
shape
things,
you
period.
for who you are today, and therefore I think, like you said, like Jess said, she vents to you, I vent to you. I mean, you probably don't even know how many other people are doing it because it becomes so natural for you that when you tell your side of the story, I think a lot of people feel more comfortable because they're like, damn, we're not even expecting that you've been through the shit that you've been through. You know what I'm saying? So that could be a form of therapy within itself that you're not even paying attention to.
Do y'all ever give him the chance to talk to y'all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the time.
I talk to them all the
But
time.
like he says, it takes him a while to be able to open up.
It does.
Even to me, it took
And
a while.
I think with him, I think the fact that he's very articulate, like the way he puts it together, is like, damn, motherfucker, like you should be making millions for this shit.
Naj, what do you see right here?
What do I see?
What colors do you see?
Seltzer.
I'm checking on you, baby. It's all good.
Checking on you, baby.
How was that the check?
We all fucked up in the game. He needs some milk.
But what about you? What are some issues you're dealing with right now that you think you?
I catch my mom growing up shocked me a lot. Not physically, but like she'll be like, nigga, you ain't doing that with your life. Da-da-da. So she would like rock my world. So like I'll catch myself rocking my world a lot. So when I get, what do I be sure? I don't know, man. I call people and I just talk about the shit. Well, not people. I just call my mom, or like I'll subliminally tell other people. So I like release a lot because
you know
But
one
no
thing I
like
noticed
issue
about you?
currently that you're.
I call people and tell them, but like in a weird way that you'll get off the phone and be like, was that nigga talking about himself?
No, I'm saying there's no. There's
Facts,
no,
you're good at that, bro.
no, I'm
Disclaimers and
saying
shit.
there's no like specific issue that you're currently dealing
I
with.
feel like I've been struggling with like being alone, but I don't know. I think I'm just an extrovert. Yeah, I don't know. That part is like I've been trying to train myself to be by myself. So that I guess I struggle with that, and I just feel like shit always just pops up. But yeah, I try to monitor that side of it just because I read that like being alone and that's where all your creative juices come from and all that good stuff. So that.
I think right now I'm dealing with trusting people. I don't feel like I trust people at all. I mean, I try my best to act as if I do, but I personally don't feel like I really trust people. Or I don't give them, I feel like I give more than what people do. And I don't know why. Maybe because I feel like with my parents, they weren't, like my mom did a great job, but I feel like when I found certain things about my mom, it made me look at her different, which I shouldn't have, but I couldn't help it at the time. And I think that because I couldn't like trust, and when you start learning things about your family members that you kind of looked up to and love, and you see that they failed in many places or they may not have been as honest, I feel like that. I'm like, if they can hurt or cause me not to trust them, why should I trust outsiders? You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I feel like I'm dealing with.
Yeah, I used to. That was a part of my game growing up. One time I caught my mom crying because somebody broke her heart, whatever, and I used to run with that. I was like, I can't love nobody. If somebody broke an angel heart, what they gonna do to me? And that was my game to be a player, because then I'd be like, yo,
I'm an angel. Don't break my shit.
Don't break my shit.
But nah, I
so
think
guarded.
I can relate on the family side, more so like as far as it comes to being in contact or staying in communication with family members, because for my family specifically, like my mother's children were all scattered across like either New York or like the United States, and like staying in contact with the people who I call my siblings, or even staying in contact with my mother and father sometimes. Like I that would be an issue that maybe I need help with, as far as like being able to build those or fortify those relationships with them, not on my own. Like, if you understand what I'm saying. You know.
So do you reach out now?
I try to, but like in general, I have a hard time just calling people, like picking up the phone and like talking to them. Like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
unless they're like in close proximity to me.
Okay.
Like the further away they get from me, the less I think to like call them on the phone and shit like that.
That makes perfect sense.
are you a
actually.
phone person?
Not really.
Because I feel like every time I call you, you pick up like, did you call me by mistake?
That's how you sound.
Malik can text you, yo. 5 seconds later, my phone is ringing. Like, man, you didn't even give me a chance to say yo back.
You're in the process of me.
Because if I put
You're
the
on like
down,
this.
it's gone. That's it.
I'm on like the second O.
I'm only on the second. Oh, I actually want to tackle this next question. It's very interesting. Does this country value productivity more than mental health?
Yes,
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
very
would
much
agree.
so.
Which is really, really fucking sad, because, jeez, I need to formulate my answer, but y'all can go.
I was in a stats class last semester, and my barber died in the middle of the semester, and his funeral, and then like the next day I just wasn't feeling great, and I had to come to my professor and be like, yo, I know I got 2 absences because I work a job, but I can't be. But she's like, yo, the semester is only 3, like, and she was like beefing with me. And I'm like, yo, do you understand that like someone has died in my life? I am not okay. I come to class, I'm just gonna sit here and not say anything.
Yeah.
And she was just like, it's okay this time. And I'm like, what do you want me in class even if I'm not okay? She was like, that's just what the rules are. And I was just like,
I'm gonna be honest with you though. Coming from you, that's like surprisingly, because I tell you all the time, you're so black and white with things. So like to hear you say like, yo, I need like a day off because of something traumatic happening. I'm being honest with you. I'm shocked to hear it, because when something happened, when I call you, you the first person. I'm like, yo, it's life. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens. So what do you think changed you in that aspect too? Because it hits you now?
because
or-
it's funny because I masked it. So he died like a week before his funeral. And I was like, I cried the first day, but then I was like, I'm good. With my little Instagram caption, I was like, I released it. I'm good. I go to the shit. You know, you see the nigga there, fuck you up a little bit more.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you feel like it's because it's hitting you now? Because I call you when I need that direct answer. Like, yo, I'm Lee gonna tell me like, fuck it, nigga. Like, you gotta go on live life. But I'm just saying, now that it's affecting you, do you feel like that's the reason?
I think it was more because it was affecting the people around me. Because it was
Okay.
like my cousins were like, that was like more, but then a barber was like more like a family friend. And to see my cousin like, nigga, I'm down and out, like I'm crushed. It was like, oh shit, like wow. And that kind of threw me off the most. And then I had to see him in the and I don't go to wakes. I don't really go to funerals. It's not really my thing. But also, no one close to me has ever died. So
Yeah.
That
I
was,
hear you.
so yeah, it was weird for me to have to go explain my case to a professor about how I don't want you to fail me because someone in my life died. I had to bring her the thing to show her that someone actually died. It was like really weird. Felt like I was in court and I was like, I'm innocent, I swear. It's a little weird.
Yeah, jobs do that.
How about you?
When we had a family death, like I had to like prove to my job. They was like, yeah, but we need like when you go, make sure to bring back like the actual paper. I'm like, I don't want to show you the paper of like my grandfather on it, like to prove that he passed away. Like you should be able to believe that yes, I literally have to fly out the country to go to this funeral. Like why can't you just believe my word? Like I'm here all the time.
Yeah.
And it had to be a fight to be like, okay, I guess I can give you the 2 days, but you better be back on Monday.
Nah, I'm laughing because I dealt with the same similar situation. My godbrother died. They asked me to bring the papers in, and I'm telling a friend of ours at the gym, and he made a comment. I don't know if I should have laughed, but he said some shit like, "Man, listen, you got to do what you got to do to get that grade. I kill niggas all the time." And I was like, yo. But now I understand why they do that. You know what I'm saying? Because people fake it all the
My
time.
man did that. He did that when they were trying to play basketball. He was like, yo, my grandmother died, but she just died 10 years ago. But I'm going to just say she died last year to get it over.
I remember he said, like, yo, you know how many niggas I killed? I'm like, oh,
You know how many niggas I done killed off?
niggas be live and well. This shit is crazy, man.
Okay, I have another question. Well, I have a lot of questions for you guys. This is our show. It's the format. What circumstances would you have to happen to you, would have to happen to you for you to go seek therapy? I need it.
Well, I guess that's for you two to answer.
Yeah, I need it. I think that but when I go in there, I got like this. So since y'all already in it, I'm gonna go in there, right? And I'm gonna be like, listen, doc, this all the shit that done happened to me. Tell me what it mean and how it's manifesting right now. And I'm gonna see what he tell me.
Well, I mean, they're not really gonna tell you nothing.
Yeah.
What I've noticed with therapy, they just help you figure out the answers on your own. Like you're gonna be the one answering everything.
Yeah.
They're very smooth with words. But in the end, you end up answering the question that you really need. You know
It's
what I'm
just
saying?
an outside party helping you help yourself.
That's why I
Yeah,
call y'all.
I don't know if any specific thing has to happen. I just have to go. And I don't think I will go with an agenda, but I might be a little bit defensive
I was
because
at first, yeah.
I'm like, geez, you probably have a therapist.
What do you know?
No, but they're supposed
That's
to.
a good point.
Like when I was doing my psych degree, like every therapist is supposed to have a therapist.
Which
because
I guess I can understand.
they're taking your baggage on, so they have to release theirs on someone else.
And let me say something about that. I was telling my boy the other day that I go to therapy. This motherfucker texts me back, "LOL, you good, bro?" And I'm just like, on a serious side, like that shit is real. Like therapy itself is very real and it's very needed. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of people really look down towards that shit, bro.
Because it's different
It's
in
stigma still.
communities of color.
Yeah.
Because
like-
it's not as like it's not a regular thing or a common conversation.
And I almost lied about why I go, just because I felt like I was being looked down upon. But I was like, nah, motherfucker, yeah, I go to therapy.
Do you guys think that therapy can help everyone?
I do. I believe so.
There's so many different forms
To a certain
that
extent.
you'll have something. It's not gonna be an end all be all, but it's gonna be. the
It'll help you with
catalyst to help
something,
you.
probably.
Before we got on camera, that thing was very important. Where it was about the therapists out there. Not saying that I don't know if there are any black therapists. I'm sure that there are things like that, but the majority of
That's
them,
a
to
lot.
my understanding, are white.
Like,
It depends where you're looking.
I'm saying the majority in the United States. I'm sure the number is.
There's a lot of older.
Unless you
white
research it, you'll
therapists.
never know.
Hey, the numbers guy in the back. You mind like looking
I'm
at
pretty
up
sure.
us?
I'm pretty sure prison got a lot of therapists, a lot of black guys in there.
But yeah, so I don't know. They
What was your question again? I'm sorry.
are basically, can therapy help everyone,
Oh, yeah.
or are some destined to never find peace?
Well, if you're not searching it, then you won't find it. So you have to physically go to someone to get therapy.
And like Jess said, there's so many different forms of therapy. It's just how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? Before I started going to therapy, I thought music was my therapy. Like when you listen to an artist that can talk about what you're going through, you know what I'm saying? That's also another form of therapy.
I thought you
Yeah.
meant like you was a mixtape rapper. So.
No.
I thought you had like a mixtape about your
Oh,
problems.
nah.
Something I'm just going through.
Oh, nah.
But I just think I don't know how. Do you guys feel like your therapists are cultured or about our conditioning and about what
Yeah,
we've been
mine
through?
is like 5 years older than me. Single mom, like she's in our generation where she knows what we're dealing with, and she's like a freelance therapist where she has her own practice kind of a thing. So she aligns with what I'm trying to go through. So that's why I connect with her for that. But the other therapist was a little bit more removed. Of course, she was another woman, a Spanish woman, but she was more removed from me to the point where she was just like, I see people worse than you, so you will be okay. It's like, I don't want to hear that from a therapist that there's people worse. Of course, I know there are people worse than me, but that doesn't negate the problems that I'm coming with. So that was the thing. But you have to, you usually go through like 5 or 6 therapists in order to find the one that's right for you.
It's like dating, essentially.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you have to do a couple
Pretty good
sessions
at
with
that.
each one to find.
It
which
was
one you click
it was
with.
weird for me because I started the therapy first. It was an app, but you could talk to your therapist through the phone.
But the app is expensive.
Yeah, hell yeah, it's
You get
$200 for the first joint.
Yeah.
For the first meeting?
For the first meeting, word. But after that,
so I'm gonna stay fucked up forever.
After
Nigga, that's a
and
pair of Jordans.
But the crazy part about it, after that, it's $100 each session, right?
Okay.
And me and my therapist got so cool because I explained to him that I like training, and he was just like, "Yo, if you could train me, that will equal it out." And that's how
Yeah.
we do our therapy now. It's like I'll train him, and we go to and we'll talk there. But he's like 38, 39. He's a white dude who doesn't come from nothing that we experience, but it balances me out because he explains to me how, the shit that I thought was normal, it isn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So hearing him talk about it, first I'm looking at him funny, like, yo, bro, like this is reality over here, and he's like, nah, it's not. Bro.
I always hear
any
that.
any examples you want to share as far as like the things you thought were normal?
I honestly thought that getting pulled over by cops was a normal. You know what I'm saying? He's like, bro, that shit ain't normal. Like I thought that people getting killed on a regular was normal. He's like, it really isn't. He's just like we. I mean, he's saying that we in our community we tend to believe that because
That's all.
we never step outside of it, and it's just crazy to hear somebody else look down upon it. I don't know if he's even looking down upon it. It's crazy to see somebody look at it like it's not the normal, or not the norm in that aspect. And it's just, he opened my eyes up to a lot. Like, it's a fucking big world out there, bro. You got to escape that environment. You had to understand it better.
Yeah, because everyone that you talk to has that same experience.
Same mentality for the
Until
most
you
part.
leave out. Yeah.
I have a question. It was an interview that I saw the other day that made me think of my own relationship, and I wanted to ask you guys a question about it. Do you feel like in your relationships, the things that you're dealing with, you, I guess, vent off to your partner more than anything to the point where you give them more stress than you need to?
You mean like projection?
Yeah. Because I noticed with myself, I could be going through something at home, at work, or I could be going through something just in life, and I tend to put all of that energy, whether it be negative or positive, on my significant other, and I'm starting to realize that that's actually a bad factor that I'm dealing with.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some things, but I try my best not to project any of these negative emotions or thoughts onto Jessica, But if a few things come through, I try my best to like talk about it or like explain why it is, or if it does offend or hurt the feelings of her, I'll just be like, I'm sorry, it's this and that, yada yada yada. I try my best to like be responsible and accountable.
You ever did it without noticing though?
I probably have,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I have to backtrack and be like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. You're right.
What about you, Jess? You ever felt like you've done it?
Well, I try not to project. Well, I unload a lot of like the trouble that I'm going through more so than projecting, because I hate when people do that to me, so I wouldn't do it to someone else. Where it's like, if I feel negative, I'd rather just stay home and just be in my room, just be by myself. Like I had a moment today, I just need to just be by myself, kind of thing. And all the time, like, I just feel super drained because of everything that's happening. I just really just want to be by myself. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk to nobody. But usually he's the only one that I do want to talk to.
Yeah.
But I don't, or try not to project, because that's the worst thing you could do.
What about you?
I'm not a dumper. I don't really like call people and dump. But when I do, it'd be my mom, because it's weird because I'm like getting it to a point where I'm like, her advice is now like my son biased a little bit. So she gives it like her little twist, but I don't like it because it's not like an unbiased stance. It's not like this. So I dump, but not to a significant other, because
You don't trust these.
It's not that. I just what I say is I'm everyone's best friend, and my mom is my best friend. So everyone comes to me with the advice. Everyone dumps on me, and I'll give them advice. But as far as like the one person that I feel like has like the best advice for me, where it's like we're
She's never gonna say you wrong.
yeah, our understanding, not even that, our understanding is that we're playing playing a different game. We're playing like a legacy game. So the decisions that I make with women, or the decisions that I make with business or spending money, like it's coming from a frame of reference where it's like legacy, not just your immediate gratification, or because she went through something, she's gonna give me her advice. Yeah. So it's hard to weed that out when you just talk to the common person, because you don't know where they're giving you that advice from.
Yeah, but what I want to say though, touching upon that, is like for our viewers, of course, understand that your significant other may not be doing it purposely. It may be just a moment thing, but also that person does need to seek help about it, because it's not fair to the person you're doing it to neither. Now, whether it's your significant other, best friend, mother, like
it's important to stay like aware, because there are times that people do that to me, and I'll be like, oh, clearly this has nothing to do with me, so I'm going to give you a minute, and I walk away. Oh, immediately.
I've done that recently.
You show up on energy. I don't need this energy. You want a nigga here now.
Nah, that's a good point, though. Yeah, you got
I'm picking up on a vibe.
You got to nip it in the bud.
You got to chill. You talking up here, and I'm down here, so talk down here with me.
You can't be afraid to let someone know, like, clearly you showed up like this. But the thing about that is you have to be present with yourself to know, like,
that it's not you. It's
something's changed
here.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very important to don't let somebody dump on you.
Take that bass out your voice.
What happened at work?
Oh, no, just like we're backstage, Fashion Week, everybody's hustling, bustling, everybody's frustrated or something. But the longer you do it, the more that you realize that you have to be relaxed yourself, no matter how chaotic. You're still upbeat and you're still with the shits, so to speak. But you're not going to take any frustration out of someone else. So an artist was there, and I was talking across the hall, so to speak, with another artist. We were joking while we were doing models makeup, and then the artist next to me was like, I can't hear. And I'm like, first of all, me and her are whispering to each other, and you're having a moment. So I went back and turned to my model, was like, excuse that, because I don't know what that was. Were you okay? And then he came back later, was like, I'm so sorry, like I'm frustrated, like the key artist is causing me stress. I was like, I understand that, but there was no need for you to take that out on me.
So that.
I was all woo-side out. I was like, you keep that. And I was sick. I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
I was like, let me just do my models and go home. And I was like, you're not going to mess my happy, because I have to be like calm, cool, and collected to even deal with people backstage. So we're not doing that.
Nah,
check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Exactly. I'm not the one backstage. I'll tell you about yourself.
I'm not the one. I'll tell you about yourself. That's good.
I have to.
I'll tell you about yourself.
You got to.
You're not going to.
What we not going to do.
Are there any alternatives you use for therapy, whether it be music, people, sports, the bar, maybe anything like that?
You said the bar?
Yeah, people vent to bartenders a lot as well.
Oh, so you're not saying drink away my problems?
No, I'm not saying drink away your problem, but
you're saying talk to a person just at the bar.
Especially when it's somebody you barely know. You know what I'm saying? People feel more comfortable talking to people that they don't know who's the people you're talking about in your life, and things of that nature.
I'll be finessing, so I'll tell you like a story, but not place myself in the story and see what your advice is. So you don't feel like you're giving me advice. I'm just getting a take on how you would handle a situation.
Thanks for letting all the viewers know every story he tells is about himself.
Remember that time I said my friend Lalik?
Yeah. So, and I do my barber. Well, damn, I don't do my barber anymore. But he was a very
That's just the way you worded that, but never mind.
Yeah, with the situation, we're gonna leave it at that. No homo though up there. But yeah, so a barber and my mom. If I go to other people who aren't like professionals, it would be like in a roundabout way, not necessarily Malik is having this problem.
Do you do that because you don't want to feel judged?
No, I do that so you don't feel like you're giving me advice. You feel like I'm getting your take on how you would handle a situation.
God forbid mom's not here anymore. What do you vent to then?
I don't know. I feel like my life will take me on a course, but I'll have someone.
Okay.
Like it'll all work out. Like I don't think the universe is gonna take me a certain point and be like, well, and drop me. So I feel like as mom withers away, so maybe a strong woman, maybe something will be there to compensate. And like I've mentioned last episode, and we're talking about at the beginning of this episode, it's like starting to train myself to be
open,
okay with me. No, not even open. Just like handle it within. Like, cause I'm a believer that everything you need to survive is within you. Like you can take care of yourself. So I just trying to get there also where it's like when I do have anxiety or I do feel a kind of way, it's just like I can sit with me, take breaths, talk myself out of it or in it, and then keep it pushing. So
That's real.
yeah, when mom goes, it's gonna be interesting.
What about you, Naja?
Was it individuals that we speak to and activities that we do?
Or like music, it could be sports, gym.
Let's see. I speak to my friends about stuff, and I also like work out, or exercise. I try to like move or walk. Do activities that make me happy, so to speak, as far as like therapy is concerned. Sometimes it might be in a form to like avoid the problem for the moment, but typically it's to like, just bring my mood up, and it's not avoidance. It's just something I genuinely like doing, and it makes me feel better.
You ever get to that moment like you listen to a song and once that song like that shit fire, like if it changes your whole mood and that shit go off and it's right back to the bed, like how you felt before? You ever got to that?
Nah, you just thought that shit over.
Repeat all
It's
that.
interesting because when I heard you just talk the question out again, I eat. I've noticed that.
Yeah,
When I get in my
emotional
feel, when I get in my feels, I'll get some Oreos and milk, and I know like what milk does to me, like whole milk does to me, like the next day. But if I'm like going through it,
Oh, you just
Child
Fuck
out.
you just
it.
take the consequences.
yo, the
lactose
next
intolerant?
day, no, I'm not. But like, I literally take 35-minute shits the next day, and it's fucking crazy. Like it blows my mind. I can have like a little tacita
Literally.
I don't know
of
how
milk,
nigga walk
Yeah.
after that.
and the next
my
day,
dead, my legs be dead.
and I'll be mad hungry the next day. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, so
Time I fell, bro. I was
fell off the toilet.
Nah, I was getting up. My legs died because of.
Oh, you fell asleep.
numb.
I was trying to go to the shower and I just.
Yo, you know what's funny?
Oh no.
Yo, you know what's funny?
Ass full of shit.
I've seen a meme where like it talks about the leg falling asleep, and it talks about when your cable, when
Yeah,
your
the
TV is
static
off
in
the
it?
static, it's like what your leg feels like.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, bro.
But yeah, I eat emotionally. I've noticed that Oreos and milk is my go-to, and I throw on some music and I'll be Jay-Z on the corner trapping for real, like. And then when the song's
He's
over,
not really
I'm no
trapping.
longer like, when the song's over, I'm no longer trapping on the corner.
You know how many bricks I sold in my head?
She said that to me recently.
Oh yeah, someone.
You know what's the worst though?
Jeez.
You know what's the worst? When you listening to like you going through it and you listening to like a whole song or something, and then you forget it's on shuffle. So next you hear, "I'm in love with the shape of you." You be like, "Oh, this wasn't my movie."
Shout out to Ed.
And you keep on clicking next, but you keep on getting inspirational shit.
Aside from therapy, what about you, Jess?
Well, workout. I need to. It's like the endorphins, adrenaline. It calms me, so it sets the whole day for me. It makes me feel like I've accomplished something. Because especially in the freelance world, when you don't have jobs for a couple days, you feel like you ain't shit. So doing something actually helps. That, the meditation, of course, you guys know. Eating better. Because when I left my last situation, I ate a lot of crap that wasn't good for me and gained a little pounds. No matter you, but gained a little something.
Yeah.
Even though I was working out, but I could tell. So switching that and eating better just so I feel internally better and I look how I want to look kind of thing.
That's about to say. I
So-
think everybody should work out as the alternative, like because in the end you end up working on something
Like something, anything. Even if you do a little yoga, 5 minutes, something just to calm
Yeah.
and move your body. Because a lot of
I started
anxiety
meditation
has-
yesterday.
Oh, we had a beautiful
Yesterday.
moment yesterday.
Really?
It was beautiful.
Meditated. We
So-
It
we
was
focused on our root
beautiful.
chakras.
Yeah, I showed him a
Chakras.
little
Chakras.
So
Chakra.
understand.
I
the
saw
people-
colors and shit. And the energy was radiating from my
Dead ass?
chakra.
Like-
Yeah,
Dead
like
ass,
100%. Because my therapist, like, she sends me videos depending on like what I'm feeling that week. She's like, okay, so do this meditation, do this meditation. So a lot of people who don't know, if you suffer from anxiety, you do root chakra meditation. So it helps ground you. It makes you feel like you're not floating in space. You're like centered. So your
Yeah.
mind is a little bit clearer, so you can handle the day to day. So I was like, Nash, try
need
this root chakra.
need you
So
to send
typically, like, you feel like an aura or you feel like a warmth
Yeah.
where your chakra is. That root chakra is lower by your spine. Some people see colors, and Naj saw all of his chakra colors.
Really?
It was radiating. I guess I was feeling away yesterday, man. I was just
She
annoyed.
put the LSD in your water, brother. You think that she was talking? That shit was LSD, nigga. Nah, it was
No, but you really do.
Am I dead?
Because I'm one, like, when she first told me to do it, I was like, I'm not about this life. I don't know this stuff. And she was like, just tell me what you feel the first time you do it. So the first time I was like, why is my back tingling? my lower body is warm as hell, and I saw the color red. She was like, red is for the root chakra, and you're feeling sensations. And I was just like, no, I saw all the colors.
Nah, I just saw a rainbow
All over
radiating,
there.
just like.
He said I saw rainbows and a
That
leprechaun.
because like every single chakra has a different color.
Nah, I was just so shredded.
So
I'm
he
just
was
thinking like
open.
Bruce Leroy, like.
You okay, brother?
I was just there like, yeah, this is radiating.
Yo, can you
but
share that
from
with
what
me?
but from what I
Okay.
was reading, there was like, don't focus on the colors. You got to focus on the meditation and like it's like a little bit of a distraction because that's gonna happen anyways.
Yeah.
So I got to do it again to figure out what's really like.
That was the
What's
LSD
really like
review
that?
video that you watched. It said, don't walk into the colors.
Nah, walk into them shit.
You gotta notice the colors, but like go back to the
What is
actual-
it like?
So what the
psychedelic?
problem is, you got
Yeah.
son. You don't need psychedelics. You just
drugs,
need
nah,
you just need your mind.
You have
I
your
thought
own
he was in
psychedelics
heaven.
internally.
Yo, that's fucked up. Just,
Damn.
So
Apologize.
what you saying that I was meditating and my mouth was open a little bit.
yeah, just put a little drop on your tongue.
No, I was meditating with him, and I just heard him like deep breathing. I was like, he's really into it. So I wasn't as into it myself because I heard I was
You were
like, he's really
distracted.
getting
You
into it.
you wasn't
Yeah.
focusing on your own shit.
Because I wanted to make sure you bring
Not
something
the full
to him.
experience.
He's never done like that version, so it's me bringing something that's helping me to him. So I was
Yeah.
like, I want him to enjoy it as
See?
much
You
as
thought
I
he
have.
was going to croak on him? You thought he was looking
No,
at
I just and I was like, ooh, you're doing the real breathing.
Nah, I went. See, you was teaching me. I just went Super Saiyan 3 once.
Yeah. I was like, damn, I want to see some colors.
The crazy part about that helps our next question is like, have you ever looked for professional help from a non-professional? And that's technically what you did.
We got
Well,
Jess.
because my teachings I shared to him.
No, but I'm
Like
saying
whatever
that
helps me
actually
kind of thing.
that is
just-
cool because somebody you trust.
You could just move a couple threads down and just throw it in the chat for all of us.
I could do that too.
We all need help.
I do my meetings 2 times a month, you know.
That's what's
It's
up.
like,
I'm
Malik, you
better.
did the meditation? He gonna hit you. Yeah!
Nigga, I seen colors.
Just don't call me when you're doing the meditation.
You gonna FaceTime you.
Yo, pee high. You just text me.
Are you in class?
So P, do you go to anybody who isn't a professional, or do you seek?
You guys, pretty much. I mean, this every Sunday when we get to talk, but throughout the week, I'm usually with Naj or talking to him about something crazy.
Yeah.
after Malik just told me not to pet his fucking head.
I'm gonna go- you know what's funny? I got that from Rubicito.
Oh, you pet his head before?
No, yeah. One time he's like, I makes me feel like a dog, and ever since then I ran with it. So like, don't touch the top of my head because I feel like you're petting me like a dog.
I don't even know how to feel about it. It's too late. It's my
You just
man.
caress your face. It's all good.
Accept it.
Nah, but on a serious note, like I feel like you guys are my professional, or my
It's like,
non-professional.
take it.
It's like, this is happening.
You tripping. You come to me for advice, I'm gonna give you all the fucked up shit. Cause I'm
Nah,
going
actually,
through
you
it.
don't. And
I'm
you
fucked
don't.
up in the game.
You are, but your experience
You
helps
see, the
everybody
advice
else.
I give you is where I wish I could be.
It's like, don't do what I did.
Especially when you got that magic.
Wow.
It's called HIV.
But Mom, I'm saying you said the doctor said you good though.
I'm good. I passed. I got 67 on the test.
Wait, what? You didn't get no 67
Take
on
it
that.
back. Take it back. Take it
That's
back.
passing. 65 is passing, so you got
That's
60
67
Not
on the
on
test.
an HIV test.
He
There's no-
passed.
I passed.
Positive. Okay, I'm not making
You don't want a
I'm not
positive?
gonna make light of this.
He said a
That's what
positive
I'm keeping. I'm
score.
not-
supposed to
You
get
want a
score.
negative on that.
Oh, I thought it was like school.
We got it. We got
Sorry.
it.
I gotta
joke.
go back and see him then.
Y'all fucked me up.
Joke
with
is over.
that.
We apologize.
Joke. This is serious shit. out here.
These are jokes, nigga.
No, he's joking, guys.
I am joking. But my DMs are not open.
So he says. But have you ever found went to
My
somebody?
mom. That's and then y'all, but y'all don't really know. Like literally,
Oh, no, we
me and
know.
Naj was together, and we was just walking up
He's
there.
like, yeah, I got this. I got this man's.
I was like, y'all made a mature decision this week, and I was just like, what? And I was just like, kept walking. I was like, yeah, I walked away from somebody that I shouldn't have been with. And I was just like, all right, cool. Sounds like the plan is working. And walked off for entertainment
Had a
purposes.
funny
also.
question, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
It's like, good. He thinks I did a good thing.
Walked away, tell people, nah, tell me this week. Nah, I was like, yeah, whatever, man. I was just there.
What about you, Jess? You go anybody?
Well, Naj and then my brothers. Like, I'll be like, guys, like I literally cried to my brothers.
I am not a trained professional.
No, but
Don't DM me.
here's the thing. Naj is super real. So when I'm being super emotional, he helps bring the realness back. So it's like, these are the facts. And we got to get you back to the facts. It's like, okay, thanks. because I'm in my bag. I don't want to get out of the bag. So help me out of the bag. And I'm like my brothers, but I cry to them when I'm like, when I'm having like, I don't want to stay in my room and cry. So I'm like, I'm going to cry here and I'm going to tell you guys. It's like, yeah, but it's okay. You're on your journey and stuff. And I'm like, thanks, guys.
So what happens when I'm in my bag?
Then I listen to you in your bag.
And I figured out myself. Thanks. I'm joking.
I'ma just jump
I
in the
literally just said you helped me with the meditation.
I kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
You tell me I help you with other things too.
Oh.
No.
oh, you see,
I said I said I'm trying to
was
stay
right.
this
He said,
conversation.
"Oh."
Oh,
I
spicy.
said, oh.
No,
I said,
we're not
ooh.
in spicy bag today.
Got you. Yeah, I left the
That's
spicy.
later.
Oh.
We in awe.
Do you guys feel church
Sentimental
is a
bags.
viable therapeutic option?
For some people, yeah.
For some people, yes. For me, I don't know. I don't think so.
That nigga got in my
To a
crib.
certain God, yeah,
God's in my crib.
I would agree. God, the
God.
universe creator, is everywhere.
Yeah.
In terms of like
Man,
through the lens of
religion.
church, talked to God this morning, yo. Like, yo,
Yeah.
the fuck?
On my personal,
Yo, the fuck.
What do you
on my
What do you say
personal
back?
tip.
Give it time.
Nah,
fuck?
I think we
Give it
all
time.
agree though. Like church is what it is. What you make of it. So, yeah, so
Do any of y'all go often?
Not anymore. I used to go
No.
until I was like 18.
It's
But
like-
I
because
went
I had
religiously
to.
as a
Yo,
child.
you know what's crazy? I was saying this the other day. It's like high school band. Like you put it down after 12th grade. You know, it's just like just leave it there. Like
No, for me it was more so when I got into college, and I was like,
I ain't gotta go no more. It's like
What I'm gonna do with this cello?
I'm sorry, mom. I have track meets on the weekends. I can't go on Sunday. Sunday I'm upstate New York. You know.
I think I got caught up in that world when I started
I
seeing
was
my
like-
pastor with the bag. Like he had the Benz, the new houses, and I'm just thinking like, homie,
I pray for money too.
that shit ain't never coming
shit
my
not
way.
clicking like it should clicking. You got a different connector, guy.
Yo, you got a different God or something? Am I talking to the wrong man?
The mother.
Nigga said I'm only here on Sundays.
That
I go
shit
somewhere else
stopped me
Monday
for
to
real,
Friday.
bro. And I started noticing that. I almost said your name, nigga. He was sleeping with like multiple women in the church, man. I know who you is.
That nigga connected to
Sleeping
God.
with niggas, sleeping with certain people's moms. Like I used to go to their house, like you sleeping with the pastor. You got a husband? Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to nigga. I'm about to say your name. Somebody stop me from saying his name.
Say that nigga name.
No, don't do that.
Pastor.
Chill.
I know niggas go watch like P Wild, PA Wild,
Because y'all know too.
Exactly. It was some of y'all balls.
Oh no.
It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact.
Yo, shout out to that pastor. He's still holding on the
He
church.
holding it this out. He got to do Benz.
it,
Yeah,
free?
the
Capital
one
D.
with the Benz, y'all. The one with the Benz.
Free him till it's reverse.
I'm snitching. I don't give a fuck, nigga. You fucking my nigga balls.
Oh wow.
Praise the Lord.
No, you're not gonna end that with praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Woo.
He got a different bounce around the
So
church.
what was the question again?
We fall down, but we.
Yo, he said the pastor got a
That's
different
crazy.
walk around his.
Man, now the whole verse.
Why the pastor gliding through the church?
He said, why you keep touching my shoulder every time you walk by me?
You trying to get your mom? So you
Thousand
personal
niggas in here.
collection.
He keep touching my shoulder.
And you in row 8. You keep touching your
Nigga had to
shoulder.
slide through the Chill.
Excuse me.
Slide through the aisle to tap your shoulder is crazy, bro. Just for you specifically.
Don't say excuse me.
Everybody in church like this.
Pastor come.
It's his week.
You know what that means.
That whole visual is crazy.
Especially knowing the nigga, like it's crazy. Like,
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna skip to the next question. Shout out to Pastor. I'm gonna keep it to
Pastor
myself. What do you think was your parents' form of therapy, if you know of it?
Work. But me and my mom just had this
Yeah,
conversation. Work. It was more.
None.
Yeah.
None at all.
My mom, she was just like, she talked about like when she ran her business and she was just like, yo, I was like,
Oh, you wasn't lying. You really cried this show.
no, I was like, but she was like, yo, I just ran my business like a madman. But it was just because of so much shit that I had in me that I didn't know I had in me. So it was just like, this was the expression of coming out. And then she would catch herself like, whoa, who the fuck was that? Like, she'll say some shit, whoa, what was that about? So it wasn't therapy. It was just work. And then now the way she's gotten out of it is just through reading. Because, yeah. So work was the gateway.
I think I can agree. Like I could say it was similar to my mom. I just think I was the motivation. So like I guess I was her form of therapy because it made her go harder. Said I gotta provide for a child. I'm a single parent mother. So, but I think her therapist would be her parents though. Like the way they speak to her, even till this day, my mom vents to them all the time. So I think me and her kind of suffer from the same thing. She doesn't really trust the outside too much. So that hurtful.
Like I said, yeah, it's been my experience dealing with my mother my whole life that she doesn't really know how to express herself or express her feelings. So more so in recent years, a little bit more as far as like our relationship is concerned because we all don't like live together anymore. But it used to be when we were younger. We would have like arguments about like, oh, she would call us ungrateful, this and that, yada yada. I do all this stuff for you, and then she was like, and then we would be like, we can't even have like a conversation with you about like regular shit. It was always like parent, child relationship, not like, hey, you were also friends kind of a thing, and then on top of that, she had 7 children. And raising all of them, so I don't know. It's weird.
You think her therapy was just parenting?
No, there's no like therapy. I wouldn't know because like I was just saying, I didn't have that kind of like. I never had those conversations with her,
Gotcha.
so I wouldn't know what it was. The closest thing I can remember probably was like the relationships that she had with her friends, because from my impression, she held them in a very high regard. She would do a lot of things for her friends and vice versa. So as far as that is what I would say. And then like she probably has like a lot of issues that she didn't deal with throughout her life because her father also died. I don't put my mother's business out there, but her father also died at like a young age. So whenever me or any of her children would like talk about it, she'd get like kind of like defensive and get kind of like even a little bit bashful. She holds her father in a very high regard, but in terms of like her conversations about her, it wasn't the same. So I guess I don't know, stuff that she hasn't dealt with or she doesn't feel comfortable talking about as far as that, because she'll talk about him up to a point, and then when we ask certain or specific questions, then you won't really get anything from it. She'll just like, it was whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd
you feel about what Nod said while you were on Instagram?
Wasn't on Instagram.
Definitely was.
Go check his story 1 minute ago.
Damn.
Log in.
And you'll never know because you won't be watching the show.
Oh, I watch the show. You want to tag some shit? Me and Nas only motherfuckers that watch our show and edit. I'm snitching. As of the past few weeks, we're the only one that's showing up to the meetings.
Anyway,
I was there on the phone.
I have a question. So, do you think she just chalked it up and was just like,
perhaps
it is what it's gonna be?
I don't know.
And she don't owe y'all an explanation. Do y'all press down for the explanation, or y'all just like?
Sometimes, but she does come from a stance of like she doesn't really owe us an explanation because those are her. That's her and her parents type of a thing. And then like on the other side of my father, it's very he's been like in and out of my life, so it's always been like a what kind of relationship? Like a buddy relationship.
Yeah.
So as far as like in terms of like what he does for therapy, I don't know, because it's like we never really get that deep, and it's always like, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. We catch up, and then like he leaves, and
that's the end of it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
How about you?
No, that's it. Are you paying attention? I already
Oh,
spoke
yeah,
about
you
my
did.
mom.
You did
Yeah.
speak.
Are you
Oh,
paying
it was
attention?
Jess. No, somebody was missing. It was Jess.
Well, yeah, they work because they're old school mentality where Haitians don't talk about their problem. Like therapy, what? Like no one does that. You have like exactly. He said,
No. Station thing.
Yeah.
I was confused.
It's a
just,
sound effect we make.
They
There's
called
multiple versions.
They called you the
of it.
N word in Haitian. You just ain't know.
Oh no. No.
Affection.
It's just
Yo.
But yeah, they're from the old school mentality. Like therapists, like no, you don't need therapists. Like you talk to your personal family. Nobody needs to know your business, And it is what it is. You were dealt the cards. You were dealt with life, and you either deal with it or
Man up.
get out the way, basically.
fuck
That
you.
thing. So I'm the only one that they know that actually said outright, like, I need therapy. But it was like in the beginning, oh, no, you're just stressed, so just deal with it. But until it was like, no, it's getting to a point where I can't leave the house kind of a thing. It was like, okay, you need help or medication or something of the sort. But it's not until me that they
crazy
know.
because I would look at you when I first met you and would think none of this is going on. Like you
It's
always
very internal.
smiling.
It's very
That's
internal.
crazy.
But here's the thing. It wasn't until I got to college and I started studying psych that I was like, oh, that's what I have.
Yeah.
And I've had it as a child, but I didn't know what it was
What it
because
is, yeah.
no one in
Tough,
junior
huh?
high school, elementary school was like, this is psychology and this is anxiety and this is what people go through. It's like I didn't have a name on it until I was like 21.
I was having a conversation about the wealth gap between like minorities and
The what?
the wealth gap
Yeah.
between minorities and white people, and I said that was the biggest thing, was the education of like these types of things like depression and
Not because like,
anxiety
my
and like
family was better off.
no, but what I'm saying is that those are the I'm not talking about but I'm talking about in the vast majority, so like our family, your family, things like that. But I'm saying like the big picture is that's what I think the focus should be shifted to, is that kind of education of like like you shouldn't have to be 18 in college to know that these are the things you were dealing with. Like you shouldn't have to wait 18 years to be exposed to that, because some people don't make it to 18.
This is true.
So I think like that's the biggest thing that separates the two. And yeah,
But I would add culture to it because coming from a Caribbean heritage, you just don't talk about stuff unless
Yeah.
it's like you're a very close person. So it's known, but it's like no, you don't talk about that outside.
I just think that it should be like
It's the stigma that has to
school.
be removed, though. But even if you're gonna go home to parents who are like, we don't talk about that stuff, so why would you go? So that's gonna make you not want to go.
Gotcha.
Which means I was like, no, I need something because I physically can't deal anymore. So now I had to teach them, be like the first generation, like, no, it's okay to seek help. I'm not crazy. It's just I have this little thing that I need to get over this hump. And somebody who is trained can help me, give me the tools so I can teach someone else to get over the hump.
Yeah.
So, how did 9/11 affect any of you guys mentally?
What I remember vividly is like, it's the day that I knew like I wasn't a priority in my mother's life, cause like, so it happened. We was all in school, and
You spent the whole day?
Yeah.
I totally
Yo,
agree, bro.
Yo, my mother was just. I was the last kid to leave the school.
Like, he not down there. He be all right.
Yo, and it's so crazy because I remember when I got in the car, I looked up and it was like black smoke, because I went to school in like 91st Street, something like that. So that's how I remember. I don't really know if I really, but I remember that, and it made the story feel a lot better because when I got in the car, I was like, yo, what took you so long? She's thinking, you wasn't going to die. You on 96th Street. That shit was downtown.
Yo, shout out to my grandfather. The same shit, bro. I got home. I'm like, yo, a lot of people left today. That nigga looked at me like, you ain't got shit to do with them. Niggas ain't looking for you. I remember him saying that, like, niggas ain't looking for you. I was like, oh, okay.
And my mom told me, she was like, yo, I was working. Like, I knew nothing was going to happen. They was not coming to Holy Name to come fuck with you. And she had a point. Like, and it was so traumatic because my teacher was her husband was a firefighter. So she was like, oh, like distraught. And
Did he make
I
it?
thought the world was going to end. Yeah, I think so. But I haven't got an update because I know people are still dying from the breathing stuff. But I thought the world was going to end because everybody leaving, everybody parent coming to get them, and I'm just there.
Shout out to Mr. Lyons. I don't mind shouting him out. His daughter actually went to work late that day, and that's the reason she wasn't in. She worked inside the World Trade Center.
So she was in on the scandal.
Shout out to Mr. Lyons. You know what I mean? Shout out to your daughter. You know, going to work late that day, and it's a very serious topic.
I'm just saying, we all know. Y'all know that. Forget it. We're going to talk about it. The conspiracy
No, you're
theory
gonna talk about
episode.
it to yourself.
Listen, what's up, Naj? What do you remember about
Me?
9/11?
What I remember. It's a very similar experience. I didn't get picked up late though. My sister, my sister came. And I remember us going home in the cab, and I'm
Why you threw me under the bus like that?
you put so much emphasis on it. Getting home in a cab, and then she was telling me what happened, and I remember seeing like papers flying around the next day when I went outside to the store, like throughout the streets and shit like that. And then just watching this shit on TV and not going to school for like a week or however long it was, and being excited that I don't have to go to school, but not really understanding the complete gravity of the situation at the time because I was young.
I remember one of my teachers said that they had a problem with the news reporting because it kept showing the plane flying to the building. So people were watching thinking that it's like multiple planes flying into buildings. But it wasn't the case. It was just like they kept showing it over and over. Do y'all forget it? How about you, Jess?
Junior high school, and I was like, okay, guys, gym is over. You guys gonna go home? I walked myself home, turned on the TV. and I
Where
was
were y'all at in the world?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn?
The only thing was like, it was like, it happened in Manhattan. I was like, oh, Manhattan. Daddy works in Manhattan. Because you're small. You think Manhattan is one little place. And that happened to take over the
whole
entire
Manhattan blew up.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
So I was like, Daddy. And he was like, no, I'm fine. I could just see the smoke from here. I was like, okay. And then my mommy just cooked this food. And then that was it.
I was in Manhattan, probably the same area as you. I was in school on 93rd Street.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting enough, I don't know anyone who like died in 9/11. Like I don't know anyone or know someone who knows someone. I don't like.
I just used to work
people.
down because I used to work for Max, so there was a location by like in Century 21 next to World Trade, and there's people who went back to work in the area, but they refused to work in those buildings, so they would come and shop with us, but they wouldn't go in the mall. They said, I would stop at this corner, but I would never cross the street because I was there.
I have a cousin of a cousin who's in a lawsuit right now. He got cancer from it. He's actually dying.
The
from
breathing
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, he was a firefighter. He was just there.
He was a cop. He was down there.
Oh,
with
damn.
him.
Yeah, he's good.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So-
One thing I wanted to say. I know that was the last question, but the one thing I wanted to say, I said it's interesting enough that we hear that we go and get like advice or like therapy from like our parents and stuff or like our family members. But what freaks me out is that they were kind of conditioned or the same way I was, or they were the ones conditioning me. So like their advice is like kind of fucked up too, because I'm kind of like this because of them. So for them to
Partially.
for them to be steering me out of the bullshit is like,
You kind of set me into it.
yeah, you kind of put me in the bullshit essentially.
They want you to be better than them, so when you grow up, they're like,
Best
okay, you gotta
teachers
change
experience.
these ways.
But
Because
what I'm
Yeah,
saying
but
is
you
not
gotta look
turning
at
out-
like what they're teaching you too, because like
Yeah.
a lot of I was watching something about this the other day in terms of like how rich people and poor people condition their children. On one hand, where a rich person would be like, "Hey, get a job so you can earn more of X, Y, Z." A poor person might say, "Get a job so you don't go hungry."
Yeah.
Type of shit. You know, it's a
Yeah.
different mentality.
weight on
And
it.
then to give me the correct advice or the things that I need, you would have to some extent, be okay with giving yourself fault. And like my mom, when we talk now, she comes to me and be like, our grandmother did this, and then this happened to me, and then this was why that you think this is this. So there's a point where you have to acknowledge, like, I'm the one that gave you the fucked up information, but I'm here to let you know that it was fucked up information. So I think that that's the interesting part of, like, going to those near, like, our family members, because
Yeah.
they were conditioned or they were the ones conditioning, so it's tough.
And then that's only gonna happen if they realize that is
If
fucked
they
up
grow,
information.
you know? Yeah, and like, funny example is that my dad, he told me, like, you're not a school nigga now that I'm graduating. It's like, great, we did it. And it's like,
Where was we at?
yeah, it's like, and it's interesting, but it's and like my older brother was telling me, it's like, yo, you got to do what you want, because your father turn around and be like, yo, that's your life. And it's like crazy, because it's like, these are the people that we think that we can go for advice for it. But it's like, you're talking to me from a stance of you're not a school nigga from your stance. But school is just like, if you just put your head down and do it, you work hard
You
and
said put your head down
and do it. Like, you're going to work hard in anything that you do. The motherfucker sitting home eating Chinese food, playing video games is working his ass off, he feels like.
Nah.
But I'm here now.
just see, not just like, you caught me.
I think he's talking about the guy who only plays video games.
Yes.
and doesn't have a job.
So
Nah, it's
he's
not
working
cool,
hard though. So the idea that, yo, school's hard, you're not a school guy, but it's like, yo, everything is hard, no matter what it is that you do.
Life is school.
That's what I'm saying. So
Gems.
don't go
Hard
into
knocks.
don't go into debt for something that you already gonna go through.
On that note, therapy is a very serious thing. Mental health is very serious. Take advantage of it while you can. If you got to talk to somebody, please reach out and talk to people. If you deal with it however you want to deal with it, but therapy is very serious.
Very helpful. Or it can be.
For some.
Jess,
Good night.
That's it.
love you guys.
Say it back.